All right, we are live. Let me make sure that we're live here on my phone. Sometimes we just, using StreamYard, sometimes it just does not connect, and then we have issues. So let me make sure, let me message myself here that we're live. Hey. All right, yeah, we are live here. Okay, looks like we are live. All right, so welcome to today's call. So today we are going to focus on a subject that a lot of people always ask me about. A lot of people ask me this question like, Jeremy, good Lord, what I sell is this. And I always get this objection like, they say, I need to think about this, or I need to talk to my spouse, or if they're a business owner, like I need to talk to my business owner, or I need to talk to the COO and then get it approved through legal. Like, what do I do? So it depends on the answer to that question really depends on a couple things. It depends on if you're more selling to a B2C environment or like a small business owner SMB environment, or if you're selling into a very large, complex selling B2B environment. There's three different things that we have to understand there. So I'm going to try to go over all three of those for you in the next 25 minutes of this live. So I want to welcome you on here. I know we've got people on here that are in the Facebook group, Sales Revolution. I know you've probably got people on here that are on my private, my personal Facebook. If that's you, you're always welcome to join our Facebook group. If we can have somebody on my team drop in a link to our private Facebook group, if you haven't already joined that, you're welcome to join that as well. So if we have somebody on my team, drop that in here. And we've also have some people probably on YouTube that are watching this live right now. Now, if you're brand new to our Facebook group, or like I said, you don't know who the hell I am coming live in your feed, I am the founder and chairman of an organization called Seventh Level. And we are a company that helps sales professionals just like you. So we help sales professionals, we help coaches, we help sales managers, executives, and business owners transform the way they and their teams sell by learning skilled questions, by learning how to use human behavior to their advantage in their sales process rather than using old techniques that work against it. Now, we call working with human behavior, we call these type of questions neuro-emotional persuasion questioning. Neuro-emotional persuasion questions. It stands for NEPQ. Now, we teach you to have the right tonality that puts your prospects at ease, eliminate sales pressure, and get your prospects to persuade themselves. Now, whatever you sell, whether you're a business owner, a coach, or a salesperson, or an executive, think about what you sell and how people would react to you if they didn't feel that pressure, if they were actually pulling you in rather than you pushing them, trying to get them to do it, they were actually pulling you in. Completely different way of thinking and selling, and completely different commission results as an earner. Now, along the way, if you want to learn more about how our company can help you sell a lot more of your products and services, like we have for thousands of our clients over the last 2.5 years, all over the world. We're in 37 countries at this point, which isn't cool, but it's okay. In the comment section, just post hashtag NEPQ. So post hashtag NEPQ, and either myself or someone on our team will message you more details about how we can possibly help you as well. Now, if you're on live right now, I want you to post hashtag live. So if you're on this live right now, post hashtag live. And if you're on the replay, I want you to post hashtag replay. So if you're on the live, post hashtag live. If you're on the replay, in the comments section, post hashtag replay. Now, for each of you that are on right now, I want you to go ahead and smash the heart button. So I want you to go smash the heart button several times, and I want you to go ahead and hit and smash the like button. So go ahead and smash the heart button, smash the like button several times. Now, the reason why we have you do that is that creates more engagement in the group, and that allows more people in our Facebook group, and either on my personal Facebook profile or even on YouTube, to be able to see this training, which helps them sell more of their products and services as well. All right. So I'm going to have somebody in my group. If you have not joined our Facebook group yet and you want to learn how to do that, because I know some of you, I'm coming live in my Facebook group and on YouTube and in my personal Facebook group. So I'm going to have somebody on my team post a join to our private Facebook group, Sales Revolution. You can click on that, join the group, and you'll get a lot of access to our resources in there as well if you want to learn how to sell more. All right. So what do you do? What do you do? Or more importantly, instead of what do you say, what do you ask when a prospect that you're talking to about your product, your service, your solution says, I need to talk to my spouse? Now, like I said, depending on what you sell, whether it's B2C or SMB, smaller businesses, or large complex businesses, will depend on what you say there. It's a little bit different for each type of industry or space, okay? Now, here's what we have to understand. When your prospect says, I need to talk to my spouse or I need to talk to my business partner, it's for one of two reasons for the most part, unless you're in a more complex selling environment. And we'll talk about that in a second. Reason number one is because you haven't pulled out enough emotion. You have not helped them see enough pain because your questioning ability has not dug under the surface of not just finding out what their why is, but what's behind the why. So your questions have not helped them see their problems clearly in their mind that they have, and that helps them feel massive urgency for them to want to solve those and actually go with what you're offering. So because of that, they are trying to get rid of you. They don't feel that what you said will get them the promised results that they said they want. They don't feel that what you said in your presentation or your conversation is going to get them what they want. And so now they're thinking cost-based thinking, whereas you have to ask the right questions to get them to think results-based thinking. It's a massive difference in your income, okay? Now, this is all on us, and it can be fixed. This is all on us as a salesperson because our lack of questioning skills. That can all be fixed once you start implementing what we train you in our NEPQ sales training programs in our advanced courses, and really starting to learn how to clarify and probe off their answers. Now, the second reason is it's just purely logistical. And that's typically the case in most SMB or more of a complex selling environment where you've got 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 7 decision makers, okay? Or it could be even in a B2C, more logistical. The spouse is interested, but they just discuss things when they make major purchases. Now, if it's a $20 purchase, it's going to be different than if it's a $20,000 purchase based on how the call went from your tonality, body language, and the answers to your questions will tell you which one of these two reasons that person falls into. Now, no matter which one they fall into, your original reaction can be very similar unless you're more of a B2B complex sound environment, which I'll go over that in a minute. You simply first want to acknowledge what they said and then set up a time the next day, ideally, or maybe a day or two after, to talk to either them or ideally both of them. It just depends. Now, here's how that might look, okay? I'm going to show you how it will look in a few different industries. Actually, no. First of all, I'm going to give you a generic example that you have to plug in the gaps. And then I'm going to show you from about 3 or 4 different industries so you can see how it works in different industries, okay? Once again, doesn't matter what you sell, your product, your service, or industry does not matter. We are training hundreds of different industries at this point, if not 1,000. I don't even know if there's 1,000 that exist, but we train pretty much everybody that does everything at this point when we look at the stats, okay? So let me give you the generic version. And then, like I said, I'm going to give you some different examples from different types of companies, okay? So let's say the prospect says this, Gary, this sounds good, but I just really need to talk to my spouse as we always make these type of decisions together as a family. Then you say, yeah, that's not a problem. How does your wife feel about you? And then you're going to repeat back what they said they wanted. If you're talking to a female who has a spouse, that's not a problem. How does your husband feel about you? And you're going to repeat back what they said they wanted, okay? And I'm going to show you some different examples. The prospect, this is generic right here. Prospect will then say, well, I think they would like me to do this, but I need to ask them first, okay? And then you would say, well, hold on though. What are you going to do if you go to them and they don't want you to blank? And then you're going to repeat back the benefit of what you're offering and what they said they wanted. I'm going to show you what that means with some different examples in here a minute. Well, this is a consequence question. Well, hold on though. What are you going to do if you go to them and they don't want you to, and then you're going to repeat back what they said they wanted, okay? Then they're going to say, well, I understand. I'm just not sure what they might say about this, okay? Then you're going to ask another consequence question. Well, how will you blank, repeat back what they said they wanted, if they don't let you? Well, how are you going to, let's say if you're selling fitness, well, how are you going to lose 30 pounds in the next 4 months if they don't let you put the funding into losing that 30 pounds? See how I just tied that in? I'm going to show you different examples in a minute. It's a consequence question, okay? Then most of the time they're going to say, gosh, I really need to do something about this. Then you're going to say, I understand. Now, okay, so time to make a change possibly. I guess what's your time frame on getting back with me today or tomorrow just to see if I'd actually be available for you? Now, let me share with you why I do that, why I'm setting up another appointment, even though most of the time I can help them overcome that concern right there on that call, and they're going to purchase right on that call. Okay, I understand. I guess what's your time frame on getting back with me today or tomorrow just to see if I'd be available for you? Now, when you say just to see if I'd be available for you, what does that psychologically do in your prospect's mind? Well, it positions you as the expert, as the authority figure who's busy. You're not just a salesperson who's at their beck and call because you're desperate to make a sale. This doesn't have any impact on you if they don't want to solve their problems they just said they had. It only has an impact on who? It only has an impact on them. Okay, so let's say the prospect says, well, I could call you back in the next few days. Well, you're never going to take that as something you agree to, because most of the time they're not going to call you back in a couple of days. They just won't. So you have to be able to organize that. Well, what I can do, if you have your calendar handy, I can pull up mine so you can book a specific time with me in the next day or so, just so you don't have to chase me down and vice versa. Would that be appropriate? Notice I say, so you don't have to chase me down and vice versa. What does that do? It positions you once again as the expert who's busy, who's helping other clients solve their problems, so it's far more attractive to your potential customer. Never say you're going to be available late at night, or I can call you Saturday at 9 if they ask for that, because it makes you look desperate. And when you look desperate, you are not viewed by your prospects as somebody who has an expertise or authority or whose company can help them get where they want to go. Do you know how they view you if you look desperate? They view you as just another salesperson who's trying to sell something, and then you become commoditized and they treat you like a dog, and nobody wants to be treated like a dog, right? So let me give you a few industry-specific examples of how this might look like. Now, once again, this works for any industry, any product, any service that's sold, as long as your prospects have problems and your solution actually solves those. So let's say in this example that you sell Amazon coaching. So you work for a company that trains people how to start their own Amazon SBA program where they can earn more money and have more time. And that's their main problem. They're coming to your company wanting to know more information because they want to make more money and they want to have more time with their family. So the prospect says this. Let me give you an example here, and then I'm going to show you what to do, and I'm going to give you a few different other industry examples. I need to, this sounds really good, Daryl, but I need to talk to my spouse. Yeah, that's not a problem. How does your spouse feel about you starting your own business so that you can make more money for the family? Did you see what I just did? How does your spouse feel about you starting your own business so that you can make more money for your family? Notice I'm repeating back what they said they wanted, which was making more money. Do you see how I'm doing that? If you come back and say, yeah, what do you think your wife will say about you getting money so you can start a business? Remember, you're not selling the thing. You're selling the results of that thing. You have to start understanding that, okay? Oh, I think they would like that. Then you're going to ask a consequence question to challenge that. Well, hold on though. What are you going to do if you go to them? What are you going to do if you go to them and they don't want you to get the funding to put into the business and you don't make more money? What are you going to do then? Well, hold on then. What are you going to do if you go to them and they don't want you to get the funding together to be able to start the business and then you don't know what you're doing? See how I'm giving them a consequence if they don't do anything. Prospect says, well, I guess I just have to figure out what to do. I'm not sure what I'd really do. So what happens though if you don't get the funding together? How would you ever be able to start your own business so you can get out of your job and have more time with your kids? Notice I'm repeating back what they said they wanted. If they can't get the funding, if they can't help their spouse overcome their concern or objection, how are they going to change their situation? You're simply asking a consequence question here to help them realize that if they don't do anything about this, what happens? Nothing. They just stay in status quo. Nothing will ever change for them. And we also repeat back the second benefit of what they said they wanted here, which in this case, since you're selling Amazon, was to have more time with their kids in this example, okay? Well, prospect says, I'm going to have to do something. I just need to talk to them first. Yeah, that's not a problem. Now, a lot of times at that point, you're going to help them overcome that concern right then and there, and they'll just enroll. They'll pay on the spot. Doesn't really matter. If it's a 2-call close or 3-call close, they'll just pay, okay? If you still can't help them overcome that, then you need to set up a second time, okay? Instead of like trying to kill them and crush them, which is going to create more sales pressure and they're just going to back out. Yeah, I'm just going to have to do something, but I still need to talk to them first. Yeah, that's not a problem. I guess what's your time frame on getting back to me in the next day or two just to see if I'd be available for you? See how that positions you, to see if you're available? Oh, I could call you tomorrow or the next day probably. Well, okay, what I can do if it helps you, if you have your calendar handy, I can pull up mine and you're welcome to book a specific time with me in the next day or two. That way you don't have to chase me down and vice versa. Would that help you? Never, ever, ever let them randomly call you back. If you do, you will rarely hear from your prospect because they will get busy. You have to set a specific time. No matter what you sell, you live by that rule 100%. Now, in this example, let's say if you sold life insurance, I'm just going to show you how it looks from a different industry. Prospect says, and if somebody on my team could post the Facebook group in here, and we've got like 55 people on here. We've got a lot of people on here live from YouTube or my personal Facebook that might not be in our Facebook group, Sales Revolution. So Chris or somebody, if you could post the Sales Revolution Facebook group in here, they're welcome to join that as well. All right, so let's say if you sold life insurance, how does this look for that? Prospect says, I need to talk to my spouse. Yeah, that's not a problem. How does your spouse feel about you having the stronger financial protection to pay for the house and these other expenses in case something does happen to you? Notice how I'm repeating back what they said they wanted. Then you let them answer. Well, I think they would want me to. Well, hold on though. What are you going to do if you go to them and they don't want you to put the extra funds into this policy every month, and then you don't have the protection for them and something does happen? Prospect says, oh gosh, I just have to figure it out. Oh, I understand. Tell me though, what will your wife do if God forbid you do pass away? Because it's not a matter of if, it's just when. And you pass away early, and then she gets stuck with having to pay the mortgage and all the other bills, but she doesn't have the money to even do that. Like, what would she do at that point? Oh, I don't know. I just hope that doesn't happen. Let's say the prospect says that. You have to challenge him here. Are you willing to settle for that and take that risk? See how I'm asking that skeptically. I don't say, are you willing to settle for that and take that risk? Well, I guess. No. Are you willing to settle for that and take that risk? You have to challenge him. No, not really. I need to do something about this sooner rather than later. Oh, okay. And then you can help him overcome that, close him right there. I might ask a probing question. Well, hold on though. Why now though? Now, if you still feel that you can't help them overcome this and they need to talk to their spouse, or they keep saying they need to over and over and over, then just follow the same format and set up the appointment like I taught you how to do. Okay, now what's your time frame on getting back to me in the next day or two just to see if I'd be available for you? Well, I could call you tomorrow or the next day. Well, what I can do, John, if it helps, is if you have your calendar handy, I can pull up mine so you can book a specific time with me in the next day or two, just so you don't have to chase me down and vice versa. Would that be appropriate? And then you book the time. Now, let's say that if you sold lead services, I'm going to show you how to do it if you sold lead services. Like I said, I'm giving you different examples so you can see how this works, okay? So this example, let's say you sell lead services to companies or more SMB types of businesses. It's the same exact structure. But let's say they're talking about a business partner. Oh, this sounds really, really good, Erica, but I'm just, you know what? I'm going to have to speak to my business partner to see what they think. You would say, yeah, that's not a problem. Tell me, how does your business partner feel about you guys getting more of a higher quality lead type so that you can get that to your salespeople so they can make more sales? Notice how I'm plugging in what they said they wanted, a higher quality lead, and how I tie in the result of that better lead, which is to what? Make more sales. Remember, you're not selling the thing. You're not selling the quality leads. You're selling the results of that thing, or the results of that quality leads, or the results of that life insurance policy, or the results of that fitness program so they can lose weight, or the results of that car that's going to get them better gas mileage, or the results of that home that's going to put them in a safer neighborhood. You're not selling the thing. You're selling the results of that thing. Do you see the difference? Okay. Remember, people don't buy your product or service. They buy the results that your product or service can get them to. Okay. So I just want to specify that. Now, let's say the prospect answers that question. They say, well, yeah, I mean, I think they want better leads for sure. I mean, who wouldn't, right? And then this is what you're going to do. Well, hold on though. What are you going to do if you go to them and they don't want you to put the extra funding in to get these higher quality leads, and your sales keep going down like they have been another 3, 6, even 12 months from now? That's the consequence question. Remember, I'm saying that in a skeptical tone. Notice I'm asking a consequence question here to get the prospect to realize what would happen if they don't do anything about this. Okay. Yeah. We'd have to do something for sure. Otherwise if we kept going down in sales the next 12 months, we might be out of business. Let's say if they say that, then you would say, okay, because typically with a company, you're going to have to speak with the other decision makers, especially if you're in a complex selling environment. The average enterprise business has 6.8 decision makers as of 2018. Actually, might be more. We don't have the data in. That was 3 years ago, but probably around 6 to 7 decision makers. SMB probably going to have 2 to 4 decision makers. Okay, it just depends on the size of the company and the price point of what you're selling. If you're selling a cybersecurity solution to a bank, that might be $10 million or $20 million that bank is putting in. There might be not just the CEO deciding, or the CFO or the COO, but it might be the head of IT. It might be the director of IT who has to implement the cybersecurity program. Okay, so you're selling all of these decision makers and influencers if you're in a standard complex B2B selling environment. If you're not, you're typically selling to 1 or 2 people. It just depends on what you sell. So let's say, oh yeah, we'd have to do something for sure, otherwise we'd go under. Well, would it help you if we set up a call with your business partners and you discuss how we might be able to help you solve this problem? Would it help you to set up a call with your business partner and us go over how we might be able to solve some of these problems you mentioned to me? Now, like I said, especially if they have a business partner or other decision makers in a B2B environment, you're going to want the other decision makers on that next call. And they're simply going to, most of the time, yeah, that might actually help. Okay, well, what I can do, here's where you're going to book the call, a specific time of that call. All right, so what I can do, if you have your calendar handy, I can pull up mine, and you're welcome to book a specific time with me in the next day or so. That way you don't have to chase me down and vice versa. Would that be appropriate? Now, that is how the process works to help your prospects overcome, I need to talk to my spouse or partner concern. I hope that helped you. Looks like we've got about 27 people live here in the Facebook group, and we've got another 25 people or so live here off YouTube and my personal profile. Hope that helped you. If you want more details about how you can learn these advanced skills, all of them, not just ones here and there where you have to try to figure everything out on your own, in the comments section, just post hashtag NEPQ, and either myself or someone on my team will message you more details and training options about how we can help you sell a lot more of your products and services like we have for thousands of our clients at this point. We get almost 200 new testimonials every single month in our Facebook groups. It is crazy. Almost 3,000 at this point in the last 2 years. Big testimonials. Not, I increased my sales by 5 or 10%. Nobody cares. I increased sales by 50%. My company's in sales went up 256%. I was making $5,000 a month, and I'm making 18 to 25 grand a month in commissions. These are bigger testimonials. So if you want those type of results, NEPQ, the red pill, and either myself or some of our team will message you more details. Now, if you're on YouTube watching this right now on my personal Facebook group, and you also want to join our Facebook group, Sales Revolution, we posted a link in here. Just scroll up, or somebody on my team will post that link again. Just click on the link. There's a couple of questions we ask you so we know what industry you're in and what you do and kind of where you want to go. Fill out the survey. Somebody will let you in the Facebook group on my team later tonight, and you can enjoy what we do inside our Facebook group as well, because we do a lot more than just this live here and there. All right, everybody, I hope that helped you today. I've got to jump off. I've got a meeting about 20 seconds ago. Thanks, everybody. Now, tomorrow, rumor has it, I'm going to be interviewing another client. We interview 1 to 2 clients every single week, week after week after week, since we started this Facebook group, Sales Revolution, about 6 months ago. This gentleman that I'm going to interview in sells B2B, very complex selling environment, okay? When he first started going through the training, he was making about $6,000 to $7,000 a month in commissions. Not bad. I mean, that's above average for most salespeople. He went through our NEPQ 2.0 training. Within 3 months, that $7,000 a month went up to about 16 to 17 grand a month. He then catapulted up into our advanced inner circle. Within 3 months from that, his 17 grand a month commissions went up to about 40,000 a month in commissions. A year later, he went from 40,000 a month in commissions to over 80,000 a month in commissions. Nobody in his industry makes even half of that. And he's in an industry that there are tens of thousands of salespeople in North America in, okay? Medical device sales, okay? And so he's going to share his story about how he did that and how he uses NEPQ in his sales process and what questions he's asking and how he helps very high-level doctors even overcome these type of concerns using what we trained him in our NEPQ virtual training courses and our group training courses. So I hope you tune in. If you want to learn those skills, tune in. It's going to be tomorrow inside our Facebook group at 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll go live for about 30 minutes. I'll ask him a bunch of questions, and he's going to drop some golden nuggets that is going to help you sell more of your products and services. It doesn't matter the industry or company you work for. It works for anything. All right, everybody. Thanks for hearing me out. Congratulations. Get in our Facebook group, and we will talk to you guys soon. Do you have results with life insurance agents? Zachary, we train companies that increase sales by tens of millions of dollars a month in life insurance, Zachary. So yes, we do. Let me repeat myself. We train every industry on planet Earth at this point, hundreds of industries. Life insurance is probably one of the top 10 industries we train. So we train thousands in that space as well. So hopefully that answers your questions. How sales industry is changing this stay-home situation? Not at all. I mean, we even have car dealerships in Canada because of their lockdowns, Paulin, that we converted where they're calling leads over the phone now, and they're cold calling, and they're making just as many or more sales as they were before lockdowns, because right down to lockdowns in Canada, car dealerships aren't even open. You can't even walk in to buy a car. They're closed. So you have to pivot or you go out of business. So we train every industry, every product, every service. If your prospects have problems and your solution solves those, then NEPQ works for that. Every product and service ever made was made to solve a problem, right? All right, everybody, talk to you soon. I'll see you tomorrow in the Facebook group.